Good morning. Today I'm reading Genesis 46 and Luke 1. And I just love in Luke 1, Zechariah and Elizabeth. And then they have their son John the Baptist. And they have such a cool testimony. I love how John so fearlessly proclaimed that Jesus was coming. But anyways, what I really loved was this part here. So Zechariah is blessing his son, and he says, "And you, child, will be called the prophet of the Most High, for you will go before the Lord to prepare his ways, to give knowledge of salvation to his people in the forgiveness of their sins, because of the tender mercy of our God, whereby the sunrise shall visit us from on high, to give light to those who sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the way of peace." I just love that. I don't have anything profound to say about it, but I just think it's such a beautiful picture of God's mercy and the visual image of the sunrise lighting up the darkness of this earth, and I think it's beautiful.
Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler, carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First he had on his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the top a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight, so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called,
"Caps will sell 50% a cap."
One morning he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and walked down the street, calling,
Caps will sell 50% a cap.
but nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry. Rub your tummy. But he had no money for lunch. He said, "I think I'll go for a walk in the country." Say that.
I think I'll go for a walk in the country.
So he walked slowly so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a big tree. This is a nice place to rest, he thought, and he sat down very slowly so as not to disturb his caps. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First he checked his own caps, then the gray caps, then the blue, brown, red on top. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept. Go to sleep. He slept for a very long time.
The caps are
When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested.
the very last one.
But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. He looked to the right of him. Look to your right.
Is this one?
No caps. He looked to the other side. No caps. Then he looked up in the tree, and what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. He looked at them. They looked at him. Finally, he spoke to them. He said, "You monkeys, you give..."
Back my caps.
But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, This made the peddler very angry. He shook both his hands and said,
"You monkeys, you give me back my cap."
but the monkey only shook both their hands and said, Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot. At last he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. Then each monkey pulled off his cap, threw them on the ground, peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First his own cap, then the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly he walked back to town calling,
You want these
"Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." The end. Okay, Tucky, what happened?
What did you do with this, Tucky? Show me where you drew. Tucky, were you drawing your letter? Well, at least we know who it would be, right? Okay.
Tucky.
Tucker, can you go in the kitchen and get one of those magic erasers, please?
He can't reach them.
Oh, I thought they were under the...
cheese?
Ooh, good job, buddy. That's really good. What's so funny?
That Tucker draws his own letter on the wall. Oh, I guess Tucker was playing Power Rangers alone in here.